It's now March 2026, and a lot of people are asking me, are you still driving your car? Have they come to take it back yet? No, I've paid for it. I've paid for my car. Paid for it with a promissory note. So the reason why so many people are asking me, I'm surprised you're still driving your car March 2026. I've had a lot of my critics saying, no, you won't be driving it for much longer. They're going to come and take it back. You can't pay for it with promissory notes. Well, you can. If you paid for it with £50 notes, that you're paying for it with promissory notes. If you're paying it with your own handwritten one, as long as it's done correctly, as long as it meets all the requirements of cash, then you have paid for it in cash. Now, some people get it wrong. There's a lot of things can go wrong. You've got to do it correctly, where there's no loss, harm, or injury. The dealer who I got this car from has been paid. The currency units were created out of thin air. That's just like an unsecured personal loan. The finance company doesn't take funds that they've got, take their money and pay. No, they just create it out of thin air. That's the absurdity of the whole situation. So this car, I applied for the lease car arrangement. The finance company agreed to it. Okay, I agreed to it. I get given the car. The dealer who supplies the car gets paid out of currency just created out of thin air. Boom, just springs into existence. A second before it sprang into existence, it didn't exist. And I've just expanded the currency supply of the planet. The dealer has got paid in pounds sterling, you know, digital pound sterling, promissory notes, units of currency. And then the finance company thinks that I owe them this fund. I'm going to be paying for it every month. That's what they think. And I wrote a letter, thank you very much. I'd like to pay for it all in full as per the agreement. The agreement says there's an amount you can, instead of paying per month, you can just pay the whole amount in one go. That is the agreement that you've both agreed to. That is the contract. And I wrote a promissory note for that amount. I promised to pay the bearer on demand the sum of this amount, pounds sterling, in the same like manner and form as would be the Bank of England at the time of payment. And this accompanying £5 note affirms the validity, the authenticity. It is a real promissory note. It is cash. That meets all the requirements of cash. It is cash. Cash is trash. Cash is just promissory notes. Promissory notes are cash. But I paid for it with a promissory note. The finance company didn't like it. They did not like it. I went through all the levels of resistance. I haven't really gone through them all. I mean, they've not agreed, okay, you did pay in cash. You're not going to get that with the finance company. They're not going to say, okay. They might give up, but we have reached a stalemate. I was playing for a stalemate. I'm still driving the car. I don't really own the car, but officially I don't own it. But I think possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is almost 10/10 of the law, really. Whoever's got it I'd say possession is 9.9/10 of the law at the moment. That's anything: property, a house, a flat, a car, a vehicle, a van. You don't officially own it. The finance company think they do, but are they gonna? We've reached a stalemate. Okay, so we've reached a stalemate now. It's a standoff. I was playing for a standoff. I say that I've paid it in cash, and they're writing to me as if they're saying I didn't pay in cash. So what are you saying? Are you saying that that is not cash? Or are you saying you don't accept that form of cash? What are you saying, you know? And they're just bluffing. They're saying I haven't paid it. Well, I'm saying I have paid it, and I can prove I've paid it in cash. My promissory note I paid is cash. I have paid it in cash. It's an absurd system. I'm calling out the fraud. I'm calling out the absurdity of the current system, the monetary system. But I have paid for it in cash. That promissory note is cash. Now, we've got a civil dispute. The civil dispute is that I have said I've paid for it in cash and I can prove it. They're saying, I'm not sure what they're saying. They're trying to say I didn't pay in cash. Well, I can prove I did pay in cash. Do you want to take me to court and let's debate, did I pay in cash or not? No, they don't want to do that. All they want to do is bluff. Keep sending nasty letters, which go straight in the bin. I get loads of calls and text messages from, you know, numbers I don't know. I'll never speak to anybody. It's my choice. You're under no obligation to speak to anybody you don't know. My mother taught me, don't talk to strangers. I will not talk to strangers. I'm under no obligation to talk to someone I don't know. I will not answer the phone to anybody I don't know. I will not read text messages or letters to anybody I don't know. That's my choice. That's my human right. I say don't talk to strangers, don't converse with anybody, don't answer the door, do not converse with anybody you don't know. You don't have to. So we've got this civil dispute. I am driving this lease car. I say I paid for it in cash. They maybe try and say I didn't. I don't know how they could possibly say that. Or they might, okay, you did pay in cash, but we don't accept that form of cash. I don't know. But look, the Bills of Exchange Act says payment offered, payment refused, or payment returned is payment made. I paid for it in cash. They didn't even send the promissory note back. By 80% of the time, they keep the promissory note, in my experience. 20% of the time, they return it to you. Makes no difference whether they kept it or returned it. You have paid it in cash. Whether they've given it to their mum, given it to their friend, give it back to you, put it under their pillow, put it in a filing cabinet, put it in the safe. You have paid them. It is a factual statement to say you have paid in cash if you pay with a promissory note, if it's done correctly and there's no loss, harm or injury. And it has to be done correctly. I did it correctly. I'm still driving this car. We've reached a stalemate. We have reached a standoff. And that's what I was playing for. And that's what I want people to understand, because a lot of people have done consultations with me. They think it will be easier. They think it will be more straightforward. Dave Silver is going to teach me how to do promissory notes, and they'll just agree that I paid them in cash and that's the end of it. No, I'm really overly conservative when I'm telling people how it will work. Your best you can do is play for a standoff with self-liquidating loans, with anything like that, with lease car vehicles. I don't think you ever. Sometimes they give up. You know, when you're playing chess, if you've got insufficient pieces on the board, you might just have a king and one or two pieces. They might have a king and one or two pieces, and you're playing for stalemate. Or what if they've got way up on pieces and you've got to play for stalemate. There's no chance you winning. All you can do is keep moving your king and not getting into checkmate, and try and play for stalemate or a standoff, or you agree to a draw, or they give up, or you give up. It would be foolish to knock over your king. I give up. Look, it's looking like I'll give up. That's what a lot of people do, and that's what a lot of my consultation work is doing. Don't give up. Do not give up. And they're like, oh, Dave Silver, they've written this to me. It's not worked. And they give up. Don't give up. That's the biggest thing I want to teach people. Do not quit. All you got to do is not quit and keep moving your king. Don't get into checkmate. They're not going to get you into checkmate if you're smart. Don't give up. Sometimes they give up, or they go for long periods where they don't make a move. You know, they pretty much, like with my situation. I'm driving this car. I keep getting letters, text messages, calls. They're automated. It's not a human being doing it. It's all automated. Bluffing, fishing, trying to get me to bite. I'm just we've reached a stalemate. I was playing for a standoff. So in conclusion, I want to mention this episode of Star Trek, the one with Picard and Data. Very good illustration. So Data was playing this alien, this advanced futuristic chess game. And this alien was brilliant at this game. Data just couldn't beat him. Every time, everything he did, the alien would always beat Data. Now Data thought, what can I do? And what he did, he changed the parameters of what he was playing for. Instead of going for obvious forms of attack to try and beat him, he would always just defend. And he changed, and the alien got all frustrated. He said, you made a mockery out of me. This is not a rematch. Why aren't you playing properly? All you're doing is defending, and the game goes on, and the game goes on. And this alien guy just gave up. He got all frustrated and ran off. And all Data's friends said to him, Data, you won, you beat him. And Data said, no, I didn't beat him. I was playing for a standoff. I was playing for a draw. I was playing for stalemate, or basically just the game goes on and one of you will give up. And that's what you're playing for with promissory notes. That's what I've done. I think that is success. I think I've had success with this car. I've not won, but I have had success because I was playing for a standoff. And if you do a consultation with me and I help you with promissory notes, really, you're playing for a standoff. You're going to have that. Say if you do a self-liquidating loan for like £29,000 and you pay for it with a promissory note the way I teach you to do it, you're playing for a standoff. The banks or the lending institutions are not going to ever agree, okay, you've paid it in cash, I've marked off. That's not going to happen. You won't get to that situation. But what you can do is, you've kept the funds, you keep the funds, and they, so I'm just going to park up here, it's a very busy time. So I want to be really, really conservative the way I teach people. What will happen if you do our system with promissory notes? You're playing for a standoff, you reach a civil dispute. You say you've paid it in cash, they say you haven't, you've reached a standoff. That is successful.